Alexa, start my Ram.
Say the 4-digit voice code. Got it. I sent a request to start the engine on your Ram. What would you like to do?
Alexa, what's the fuel level in my Ram truck?
The fuel level is 67%. Is there anything else that you want to know?
So it's already been 1 month that I've had this Ram. I've got just a little over 1,000 miles on it. I just want to take you guys through how I'm feeling about it, what's happened over this past month. Now, since getting this Bighorn, I ended up throwing on some 35-inch tires. These are some Toyo Open Countries. And surprisingly, these things fit on here without rubbing anything at all. So very surprised. I think it's like a 295, 65-20 just on the stock wheels. So we've also got a 3-inch front and 2-inch rear leveling kit I'll be putting on in the next couple of weeks. Let's see, what else do we do? We got some decals all around from Reflective Concepts. So we got that looking cool. My favorite is this one right here. This is freaking sweet. So white with that's like a metallic red, and then the badge in the front. Also got the windows tinted. So just kind of your basic stuff. I still need to get a tonneau cover. I did also get a bed mat, but the bed mat doesn't really fit because we've got the bed liner. So I think eventually I'm gonna pull this liner out. We're gonna get a spray-in bed liner, and then we'll have the mat. And then my truck did not come with cold weather mats. So I got a set of some aftermarket cold weather mats. So I'm actually on my way right now to the dealership to have a new key program. So when they delivered this truck to me, the dealership had lost one of the keys. And so they only delivered the truck with one key, no big deal supposedly, but it's been a freaking month now and I still don't have a key. So we're getting a key today. They're gonna go program it. I'm also gonna have these guys look at the blind spot monitoring system. I've had some intermittent failures over the last month where maybe 30 minutes or an hour into the drive, all of a sudden blind spot monitoring just stops working, and then it triggers an alert on the Ram Connect, says, hey, schedule service, blah, blah, blah. And then on either the next restart or like 2 restarts later, that issue's gone away. And it's probably been a week now without that failure at all. So I don't know if it's fixed itself. I did talk to the service guy. He thought, well, maybe it's, just snow or ice on the sensor. But the reason why I kind of don't think that is the failure always happens like 30 minutes into driving or an hour into driving. I would think if it was snow or ice, it might happen, right when you start the vehicle, right? It's not able to sense or work, but it does. It works for a while and then stops. So we'll see. So I'm guessing since there's no stored messages right now, they probably can't do anything. So we're just getting a key fixed. But otherwise, besides that, I've got no complaints over the last month. A little over 1,000 miles and no issues. Truck's running great. I'm actually really, really excited for this engine. First of all, the engine has been amazing. Awesome power, definitely faster than Hemi. I've had like 4 or 5 Hemi trucks. This is definitely cooler. The only problem is it's not a V8, so you don't get that deep V8 noise, I don't know if you guys can even hear it, but I mean, it's not a bad sound. It's not like hearing a 4-cylinder, but it's just not pleasing. So anyway, there are some upgrades planned. I actually have a Burger Performance JB4 tuner coming today. So that bad boy is supposed to be adding up to 104 wheel horsepower. And this works with standard output or high output. So basically you can go from, 420-ish horsepower at the motor to 520, 524, right? Huge increase. I mean, it's basically almost getting you up to par with a stock high output. K&N also makes an air intake that I think I'm gonna end up ordering, and K&N's claiming up to 40 wheel horsepower they've seen, which seems insane for just an air intake, especially since the stock air intake doesn't look all that restrictive. So, but still, even if it's 20 wheel horsepower, that's pretty awesome for an air intake. And then the final thing is I'm trying to get a hold of a Flowmaster. They make a new system for this truck that's basically just a muffler replacement. So it's like a Super 10, looks like a Super 10 muffler. And I've seen some sound clips, and the sound clips sound pretty good. this thing to be super loud. You know, it is a daily driver for me, but having a little extra noise would be nice. So I'm hoping that all these kind of performance little things coupled together. I mean, if you think about it, the JB4 tuner I think is about $600. The air intakes are around $400. So you know, you've got $1,000. The muffler is probably really not adding any horsepower; it's just more for sound. But you figure for $1,000, you're getting, you know, 120, 130, maybe up to 140 wheel horsepower. That's a freaking deal. That's pretty awesome. So I mean, that's almost getting you up there where you might be able to get close to taking out, you know, stock TRXs, especially if you started out with a high output motor at 540. It's the same thing. You're getting another 100 horsepower. You're going to be at, you know, 640-ish. So it's pretty awesome. The other thing that's a little bit scary, though, is the standard output. From what I understand, it does not have forged internals. Now, the high output version does. So the high output version, you can probably boost that thing to the moon. You don't really have to worry about your connecting rods, you know, coming out of the side of the block and stuff like that. But on this standard output, I'm a little bit concerned about that. So we're going to kind of take it easy. You know, we do not want to blow this thing up. I've also got a Draggy on order, which is one of those satellite-based GPS acceleration deals. So I'll be able to tell, you know, we'll do some baseline runs with the truck stock, and then with the JB4 tuner, and we can do back-to-back tests with the K&N and with the exhaust, you know, so we'll do all that kind of stuff. So this should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to all that. And you guys can probably also see I've installed some seat covers on my Ram. So my Ram is a Bighorn, so it just had standard cloth, you know, interior. So I threw on a set of seat covers just to protect, and I'm glad I did, because we actually just picked up a puppy 1 week ago. And I was actually I had the puppy with me, and I was washing the truck. So I was out of the truck for maybe 4 minutes, you know, just spraying the truck off. And I come back in, and the puppy took a little duty on the passenger seat. Yeah, a wet one too. It was gross. So thank God I had the seat covers on there to protect it, and it cleaned right up very easily. Fuel economy. So this thing, like right now, it's showing on the display 11.9 average miles per gallon. Now, granted, I am doing just mostly city driving, a lot of short stuff. Right now I'm heading to the gym. It's like 3 miles each way, right? So, and then it's winter out. The truck is, you know, getting remote started, you know, because it's so cold to warm up. And then I have a heavy foot, you know. I've just been flooring this thing left and right because it's so much fun with this twin turbo Hurricane. So I expect that if we're doing, you know, highway driving and stuff, this would be, you know, 14, 15, 16 miles per gallon probably. But yeah, we're staying right around that 12 mile per gallon mark right now. Another cool thing that I like is having Alexa. So at home, you know, my whole house has Alexa lighting and Alexas in every room. So I use Alexa a lot to ask questions, stuff like that. So it's kind of cool that you can hit this button here, and then you can use Alexa. Alexa, navigate home.
Getting directions to home.
Alexa, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
At the moment, the Chiefs are favored by 1.5 points against the Eagles. The game kicks off on Sunday, February 9th at 6:30 p.m. at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Did that answer your question?
Some other things I want to point out that I've noticed over the last month here. This screen, this is the first Ram I've had with this big 12-inch screen, or whatever this is, 11.5 inches. I've had a lot with the 8.4 inch, you know, for years and years. So I feel like this doesn't work. Like there you see false, we didn't have a touch, right? This screen does not work as well as the 8.4 inchers. I feel like the 8.4, because we still have an 8.4 in our Wrangler right now. We have a 22 Wrangler. And, you know, that screen, I feel like, as far as touch goes, is much better. Yesterday, I was actually in here playing around with, I don't know, vehicle settings or something, apps. And, like, I couldn't get out of the screen because I was, like, trying to hit a button and it just wasn't working. You know, so it's, I don't know. It's just not as good. It just feels a little slower. But for an example, this is my wife's 22 Wrangler, right? And so look at the feedback. Like, let's go to FM. Like, look at how quick you can swap. I mean, I don't know, it's a much better interface. I don't know if you call it a user interface or what, but there's no missed touches. I mean, I'm trying to go really fast, but you can't go this fast on the Ram, and then the Ram has some misses sometimes. So anyway, obviously this has been out forever, you know, the last 10 plus years. So they've got this thing dialed down, but they still got some work to do on that new big screen. I did also find out initially when I got this truck, I was thinking to change the seats, you had to like come down to the comfort button. See how it's a little bit slow too? And you know, and then get in here. But actually someone pointed out, no, it's up at the top. So it's kind of cool. I wish for this seating though, there was an actual button, because when there used to be a button here, you could just like easily shut it on and off. What you have to do now is you have to click this still. Oh, I guess I'm in climate. Let me show you from this. This is how we'd normally be rolling. You hit the button. See, it takes a second. And then because it's on high, you have to hit this 3 times to shut off, which kind of sucks. I wish there was like some way to just like a long hold or something to shut it off faster. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, again, it's just kind of annoying when you're trying to drive and you got to kind of like look over here and hit this, versus like if there was just a button where I could just, you know, turn it off completely. That would be nice. I think we covered this in one of the earlier videos, but there is different sport or different drive modes. So there's, you know, snow and sport and all that stuff. The sport seems, you know, sport turns off traction control as soon as you go into sport mode, and I think it's supposed to, you know, be kind of your maximum like fastest, you know. So I don't know if this thing limits boost pressure. If it does, then, you know, sport mode's going to give you the best performance. It's supposed to firm up the transmission shifts, but I don't really notice too much of a difference, honestly, between like sport mode or snow mode or tow mode. I don't know, I can't really tell too much of a difference, so I pretty much just drive it around in auto, unless I'm trying to like accelerate and like, you know, mess around, then I'll put it in sport mode. And if we're talking about traction, this thing with all-wheel drive put on is freaking awesome. I mean, you can just punch it, dude, take right off. You get some chirps and stuff, but the acceleration is great. This thing has been also really good in the ice and snow the last few weeks here in Michigan. So yeah, dealership says they don't see any issues right now with the blind spot monitor. So nothing they can do on that. So we're just gonna keep watching it, see what happens. But they are fixing my key fob. So end of the day, I should have that finally. All right, so I just got it back from the dealership. It took those guys only like an hour, and they got the key all programmed. So now we got 2 keys. We're back in business. So again, to recap all this stuff, the last month hasn't really been bad at all. You know, so I'm still really digging the truck. We've got some mods. I know that TB4 unit actually just got delivered a couple hours ago, so we're gonna get that thing installed here in the next few days, and more to come. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this truck does over the next year. Looking forward to all the performance mods. It's gonna be awesome, and we'll see how this Hurricane Twin Turbo i6 holds up. So if this video helps you out, make sure to click that like button, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.